Hey guys, Harry here and welcome to a new video. In the background is a Call of Duty 4 gameplay where I go 25 to 3 using the gun MP5. I believe so, good gameplay there. However, that is not the point of the video. Today I'll be talking about the UEFA Champions League group stage draw for the 2014/15 season. A lot of good groups, some harder than others. Some English clubs will be happy. Some others not so. Let's start with Group A. In Group A is Atletico Madrid, Juventus, Olympiakos and Malmo. Obviously the two better clubs in that group are Juventus and Atletico Madrid, but Olympiakos could cause a bit of a stir. We'll have to see about that. As I said, Juventus, lots of quality in their squad. The likes of Vidal, who's still there, Pogba, Pirlo, although he's injured. Lots of good players, and obviously Atletico Madrid won La Liga last season. Malmo are the other team in the group, a Swedish team. They might cause a surprise, but obviously don't have the quality other teams in the group do. Moving on to Group B, which is a very, very nice group. Real Madrid, FC Basel, Liverpool and Ludogorets. Real Madrid, obviously one of the best teams in the world, if not the best. The likes of Ronaldo, Bale, Benzema, Rodriguez, they've just bought James Rodriguez. So obviously they're going to cause a bit of they're going to probably win the group, you would think. Although Liverpool could do well, it'll be a great match at Anfield, Real Madrid playing at Anfield. We'll just have to see how that one goes. Liverpool still got quality players, despite selling Luis Suarez, of course. FC Basel, they've kind of been underperformers in the last few years. They've got a great squad. Recently they've sold Salah to Chelsea, obviously, but they've still got some great players. Obviously a Swiss club, but they could cause a surprise. And Ludogorets, I can't see them doing too well. We'll have to say, I think they're a Bulgarian club. Moving on to Group C, which contains Benfica, FC Zenit, Bayer Leverkusen and AS Monaco. Some very good teams in there. AS Monaco obviously had a financial boost in recent years and have done well since that. They came second in League One last year, I believe. Bayer Leverkusen, they might have qualified through playoffs, not too sure about that, but they do have some good players. I think they've got Lars Bender playing for them, so a very good player. FC Zenit, Hulk, obviously they're probably the star player. They also have a lot of good players, Russian team, and then finally Benfica, who could cause a bit of an upset. Very good group in that, very good group there. I'm really not sure who's going to go through. If I was to pick two, it would be Benfica and Monaco. I think Monaco could do well. Anyway, moving on to Group D, which contains Arsenal, Borussia Dortmund, Galatasaray and Anderlecht. Obviously Arsenal, another English club managed by Arsene Wenger. Lots of quality players, including the likes of Ramsey, Ozil, Sanchez, obviously they've recently bought. However, Giroud is injured, and for me they need to make a signing of a striker, but it doesn't look like Arsene Wenger wants to do that, so we'll have to see what happens. Then moving on to the club that came second in Germany last season, Borussia Dortmund, managed by Jurgen Klopp. Obviously a very talented squad. They've still got Royce. Aubameyang plays in their striker role now that Lewandowski has lost. And it's still a great team. They've still got a very solid defence, great manager, and I can see them and Arsenal being the top two in the group. Galatasaray, the Turkish club, could cause an upset, we'll have to see. Anderlecht are probably the least favourites to go through in the group, but they do have some decent defenders in particular. So that's half of the draws talked about. Let's go to Group E, which contains Bayern Munich, Manchester City, CSKA Moscow and AS Roma. Lots of people calling it the group of death, and you can see why. Bayern Munich, obviously probably the best team in the world now. Manchester City with the likes of Aguero, Dzeko, Nasri, Silva, Company, Joe Hart, absolutely fantastic players. They've got a great team. CSKA Moscow, they've got some decent players as well. And then finally AS Roma, they were in pot 4 surprisingly, but they've got great players, one of the best teams in the world. Very underrated. They've got the likes of Kevin Strootman. Who else they've got? They've got Javinho. Destro at the minute. Benashi has just moved to Bayern Munich, so that'll be interesting to see how that works. Anyway, very good group. If I was to pick two to go through, it would be Munich and Manchester City. Moving on to Group F, which is Barcelona, PSG, Ajax, and APOEL. APOEL, the Cyprus club, obviously the least likely to go through in that group. Cyprus club don't have, they're not going to have the quality players the likes of Barcelona have got. Luis Suarez, obviously, he's still disbanded at the minute, but when he comes back, he'll have a big part to play in the Champions League. In that front three of, you would think, Neymar, Suarez, and Messi. Paris Saint-Germain obviously got some good players, the likes of Thiago Silva, David Luiz recently transferred, and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. And Ajax, probably the best team in the Netherlands for some time now. Got some great players. They've got Edwin van der Sar working in their backroom staff, so that's a big boost for their team. And they could cause an upset. It'll be Barcelona and either PSG and Ajax to go through, in my opinion. Moving on to the penultimate group, which is Chelsea, Schalke, Sporting Club de Portugal, and Maribor. Maribor are, I think they're the least ranked in the competition, the lowest ranked, so they're obviously least favourites to go through in the group. Chelsea and Mourinho will be very, very happy with that group. It's easily negotiable, and I can see them going through. Sporting, they've obviously recently signed Louis Nani from Manchester United, so it'd be interesting to see how that one goes. He's obviously a great player, but just didn't get too much time at Manchester United, and to be honest, when he did, wasn't the best. Schalke have some good players as well, do well in Germany, but I'm not sure they can challenge Chelsea, for example. And finally, the last group, which is Group H, SC Porto, Shakhtar Donetsk, Athletic Club, and BATE Borisov. BATE Borisov, obviously the least likely to go through in that group. Athletic still have some good players despite the selling of Ander Herrera, Spanish club. And then Shakhtar Donetsk, the Ukraine club, have lots of quality, especially in the midfield. Some good Brazilians there. And then finally FC Porto, Portugal club. For me, it's them and Shakhtar to go through. Although Athletic could cause a bit of they could go through as well. So it could either be Porto, Shakhtar, or Athletic Club. Anyway, guys, that's the video. Hopefully you've enjoyed. That's all the groups talked about. Tell me who you think is going to go through each group. Hopefully you've enjoyed the video. Leave a like if you have, and subscribe if you want to see more. Goodbye.